The cooler temperatures and wetter weather of autumn and winter only mean one thing: springtail season. Springtails are organisms of soil, leaf litter and many other habitats which can be microscopic, reaching 1/4 of a millimetre in length, or can be larger, reaching 6 millimetres, like the species we're going to look at today. Most springtails do not survive for long in dry conditions, so often retreat deep into the soil to see out the summer months. But when the wet autumn weather sets in, springtails take advantage of this, and many species are more easily found nearer to the soil surface, within leaf litter and under logs and other debris. One group of springtails which are particularly conspicuous in these habitats is the longhorned springtails, belonging to the family Tomoceridae. These are the largest of the UK springtails. However, in this case, size does not correlate to ease of identification, and a compound microscope is usually necessary. The family can be recognised by their lead-grey coloration, with their scales sometimes rubbing off to reveal a bright yellow colour underneath and very long antennae, coupled with their large size. In this video, I'll detail how to identify Britain's Tomoceridae species. In the UK, the family consists of two genera, Pogonognathelus and the perhaps more easily pronounceable Tomoceris. Pogonognathelus is usually the largest springtails, so they can reach up to about 6 millimetres, and they often have longer antennae which are more flexible and able to coil to a greater degree. However, as the antennae are quite easily damaged, this is not that much of a reliable feature, so you have to look more closely at the furca, which is a springing organ, which is what you can see here. Now at the base here you have the manubrium, and at the apex you have the mucro, and connecting the two is a structure called the dens. At the base here, if you look from above or below, you'll see something that looks like this. Now in Pogonognathelus species, you have a pair of leaf-shaped scales, sort of protruding at the base there. That's how you know that you have a Pogonognathelus. Now I have two species of Pogonognathelus, and to identify them we need to look at the foot, as you can see here. Now the two species are the more common longicornis and the slightly rarer flavescens. Flavescens has the impodium, which is sort of a claw-like appendage, as you can see here, with this being the claw. That's about half the length of the claw, so not extending that, only about that long. But in P. longicornis, this impodium actually becomes filamentous and extends past the length of the claw. Now for Tomoceris, you need to look again at the base of the dens, so here. It's hard to see in this photo, but in this sort of region there are these black spines. And now it's usually clearer to see than it is there, but in this photo you can see that these spines here are tridentate. That means they have 3 points like that, and that indicates that this is T minor. Now the other common species is T. vulgaris, and instead of having tridentate spines, it has simple spines like that, with only 1 point. Now there is a very much rarer species called Tomoceris minutus, quite easily confused as names go with T minor, but you need to look at the mucro. So again, this is the apical part of the furca, and I've drawn a couple of examples here. At the top here you have a mucro belonging to T. vulgaris. It has quite a few sort of teeth on the dorsal margin, usually about 9 up to 9. The other Tomoceridae species, including Pogonognathelus, usually have around 9 teeth on this dorsal margin. But in T. minutus, which you can see down here, this only has 1 or 2. Now, T. minutus has only been recorded in the UK on a handful of occasions, so you'll be very lucky if you find it, but the others can be found fairly regularly, except for flavescens, which has only been recorded again a few times in lowland England over the last few years. But with a little bit of practice, Tomoceridae identification under the microscope will become second nature. Your records will provide valuable insights into the distributions and ecology of these under-recorded organisms.